Yo, welcome back, my fellow gamers. This is part 5 of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Last time, we picked up this ore right here, which is a ruby, but we weren't able to read the description. So that's what we're gonna do before moving forward. Okay, so first sentence. 鉱脈から取れる貴重な鉱石. 鉱脈 is the mineral deposit, the rock that we just hit a couple moments ago, extracted from 鉱脈から取れる貴重な is rare, precious, valuable, in a sense that is limited supply. For example, これは、高知な本、貴重な、I'm sorry, 貴重な本ですよ。This is a valuable, precious, a rare book. 貴重な. And 鉱石 is the actual ore. This is the ore. If we say 鉱石, we should be imagining, for example, the ruby or the kohaku. Yeah, that's 鉱石, right? Then moving on, then we have 鉱脈とも呼ばれ, also known as ruby. Kogyaku is the Japanese word for ruby because right here we have the katakana ruby for the word ruby, which is just a loan word. But kogyaku is the actual Japanese name for that particular jewel stone. Kogyaku tomo yobare. Then we have Hono no chikara o himeru to iwareru. It is said that it hides the power of the flames. Hono. Hono is flame. Hono no chikara, it's the power of flames. Himeru is to hide. And then to iwareru, it is said. I was gonna say something about this. Oh yeah, if you want to remember the verb himeru, which is to hide, in with an easier example, you could use, for example, 彼は強い力を秘めている. He hides great power within him. So, 秘める is to hide. Alright. Lastly, we have 古来よりかなり高値で取引されてきた. Okay. 古来より it's since ancient times, since very long times. 古来 is very long times. かなり高値 is fairly expensive. Takane is the specific commerce term for an item that it's very expensive in the market, referring particularly to the market. It's just not high. It is actually very expensive in a market. Takane. Then we have 取引されてきた. 取引 is to trade. 取引する is to trade. So 取引されてきた is the passive form. The continuous passive form, so it has been traded since ancient times. So this is what we have for it. Let's move on. Oh, we have a new one. Ooh, we're gonna read this one as well. Okay, so this is an interesting one because this is a very commonly used ingredient in cooking. We have gannen. Now, here's something funny. If you read it all together with those two kanjis, gannen, it's rock salt. Okay, the one rough, the salt that is in rough state and that people use unprocessed. And then if we separate that and we only take the last kanji, is shio, and that's common salt. So the two difference is the main difference is the processing behind that creation, the processing behind the creation of the salt. So one is gannen and the other one is shio. Okay, so this is rock salt, gannen. So then we have 大昔の海の塩が結晶化した。結晶化した is crystallized. It crystallized. Now we have a 結晶化した is crystallized. Another example to picture that mental image is 水が結晶化した. The water crystallized. So to have a better mental image of 結晶化した, we are gonna be using another example, which is 岩塩は長い時間をかけて結晶化した. Rock salt crystallized over a long period of time, or applying a long period of time. 結晶化した. Then we have the second sentence is 美味しい料理には欠かせない調味料の素。美味しい料理 delicious cooking には in delicious cooking 欠かせない is the 欠かす is the verb to omit, to lack. Then the negative potential form is 欠かせない, so cannot do without. You cannot omit this. So the mental image here is that you cannot leave it out. And then, well, what was the next word? Chomirio. Chomirio is seasoning. Chomirio no moto, the base of seasoning that you cannot leave out. Kagasenai chomirio no moto. So, in delicious cooking is the base of seasoning that you cannot leave out. That's the full sentence. Okay. The last one is pretty easy. At least we already know those meanings. そのままでは食べられない. At that current state, we cannot eat it. Ganin. Okay. We've got ganin. Akariwana no shu. Akariwana no shu. We have another or. We're gonna learn a lot with this. And since we're gonna I'm sorry, bear with us, guys. And if you're here for the learning trip, then I hope this is very useful to you. But if you're for the gaming trip, this is gonna be very slow. Since we're at the very early stages of the game, we are gonna encounter a lot of new words, and I'm not gonna let those go by me without reading them, because every time we read something, we learn a new meaning. And even though we might forget some of it, we will encounter them in the future. So yeah, it's very useful. Now we have a very interesting word right here, hi uchi ishi, which in English is flint, in Spanish is pedernal. But the reason why I find it so interesting is because of the word itself and the meaning behind it. So hi is flame or fire. Uchi is a strike, and ishi is rock. So in English we have flint, and you just picture the mental image of the ore or the material. But in Japanese, if you were to break down the meaning of the kanji, it means the rock that starts fire, or the fire striking rock, which is historically what the flint has been used for. Even in Minecraft, in games like Minecraft, you need flintstone to open the the nether portal. And to me, it's so fascinating that Japanese has all these the way of structuring meanings is so intricate, and once you break it down, it's so easy. When I first saw this word, hiuchishi, I was like, oh man, why such a long name? But then now it all clicks in. So, and I can remember it now. Hiuchishi. So that's the beauty of Japanese. Let's go ahead and read the description. Okay, so the description goes like this. 金属などの硬い武器で、sorry. 叩くと火花が出る火種. Okay, so these are multiple concepts. First, we'll break it down in each individual one and then as a semantic unit. So kinsoku is, we've already seen that, metals. Nado, things like kinsoku nado no, materials like metals. No katai, it's hard. Buki, it's weapon. Then we have de, by. Tataku is to strike. Tataku to, if strike, stroke, if stroke. Then we have he, he, hana, hibana, hibana, hibana. Hibana, sorry, hibana is to spark, and then deru is to come out. Hidane is fire or a fire starter. So then semantic unit is kinsaku nado no katai buki de tataku to, if struck by a hard weapon made out of things like metal, then we have hibana ga deru hidane. It will spark. Sparks will come out, starting a fire. Yeah. Then the second sentence is maki no tawa o chikaku ni oite oku to takihi o okoseru. If you place a bundle of firewood nearby, you can start a campfire. Maki is firewood. Tawa is bundle. Chikaku ni is close. Oite oku is to leave in advance. Takihi is campfire. Takihi. Okoseru is to create, to start, to make it happen. Okoseru. And the last sentence, which has become easier to read as well. Ikai de kowarete shimau ga. Even though it will break after one use, boken ni wa totemo yakudatsu. So boken ni wa totemo yakudatsu. In your adventure, very useful. Boken ni wa totemo yakudatsu. Okay, so there you go. The Hyuchi description. Man, oof, that was a lot to process mentally speaking. Oh, and kyudai na akarabina no shu. Okay, kyudai na, it's huge. Kyudai, yeah. So it's basically the same one as the other one. So we'll just skip this one. We've already seen the description of the akabiri no shu. Koware no kisu no medama. Medama is eyeball, centerpiece, medama. Kyudai na akari wana no shu. And I don't know if you've noticed this, my peoples, but as we learn new words, for example, shu, which is seed, and a word that I didn't know myself, akarabi no shu, we don't even have to look for the meaning anymore. We've already stored those mental images and descriptions and meanings inside our heads, so it's easier for me to just jump ahead into the pause menu and read these descriptions. For example, kyudai na karabi na shu, hyuchi shi, kanen, karabi na no shu, kisu no medama, 傷の羽、琥珀、琥琥琥珀、ruby, etc., etc., right? Which is fantastic for learning. Fantastic. Coca-colastic. フラビタ動画。フラビタ動画。How do we read that? Okay, it's the first sentence we have. 古めかしい様式の上着。古めかしい old and how do we say that word? Antiquated, old fashioned, having an old time feel. Antiquated. So 古めかしい様式 yoshiki is style. No uwagi. Uwagi is upperwear, jacket, more like jacket upperwear. Outerwear, I'm sorry, outerwear. So in this case, it is an old-fashioned style outerwear piece of clothing. Then, okay, second sentence we have ほころびはあるが even though there's some fraying is like the tears in the clothing. It's ripped apart, some pieces of ripping in the clothing. So it's ほころびはあるが even though there's some fraying on the clothes. さらりとした肌触りがさらりとした肌触りが心地よい where さらりとした is soothing, light, non-sticky, fresh, and then 肌触り is the touch of the skin. So touching your skin, feel against the skin. Then 心地よい it's pleasant, comfortable, but not just in a not just in the sense of physical comfortable, but emotionally soothing, pleasant sensation. 心地よい ほころびはあるがさらりとした肌触りが心地よい And the last sentence is シワを整えるのが難しい Shiwa, it's wrinkles in your clothing. 整える is to arrange, to fix, to get straightened, like 髪を整える And then 難しい it's hard. So it's hard to fix the wrinkles. It's not easy to iron. Eh? 誰? Oh, so now yeah, it's 買える? Can we use this on our gear now? 持つ話す Okay, so we're gonna do this, my friends. I'm gonna stop the episode here because we studied a bunch of words, a bunch of grammar points, and I think that was quite a lesson that we went through through the caves. Remember how to save cave? The word for cave is dokutsu. Dokutsu, my friends. So yes, we've learned a lot this time around, and we're about to hop into what I'm imagining it's gonna be a long dialogue with these guys right here. Completing the game is gonna take us a long time, but we are learning a lot, and that's what this is all about, right? So thank you for joining today. Bye bye.